to launch into our subject for tonight, which is, if I can find this screen, which is the law of solid ground. So I'm going to pass it back to my co-partner, Dr. Fran, and he's going to launch into the leadership series, Law of Solid Ground. So with that, Dr. Fran, take it away.
Well, Casper, thanks so much. And man, how exciting is that European expansion news? I mean, it is amazing, and you really have perfectly encapsulated what the meaning is to each and every one of us on the call. I have not yet successfully found or enrolled a European partner frontline, but the very reality that we all will participate from the release of that tsunami is really quite exciting. And you know, I am working actively on using the RISE site to locate and create contacts and relationships abroad. I've never had that tool available to me in my 30 years, and it is quite fun and quite exciting. But tonight we want to continue on with our leadership series, and you know, I'm really enjoying doing this, and I appreciate the feedback that I've been getting from our partnership that have taken advantage of either hearing the trainings live here on the webinar or who have accessed the webinar and you know, read the training or listened to the training after the fact. And tonight we're on lesson 6, or the law number 6, the law of solid ground. And the tagline for this law is trust is the foundation of leadership. Now, Webster's dictionary defines trust as, quote, reliance on the integrity, strength, ability, surety of a person or thing. And the second is confidence in. And, you know, as a leader's history of successes and failures as regards their decisions makes a big difference in his credibility over time. And it's a little like earning and spending pocket change is how I look at this. And every time you make a good leadership decision, it puts some change into your pocket or into your bank account. And every time you make a poor decision, you have to pay out some of your change from your pocket or your bank account back to the people. Now, every leader starts with a certain amount of change in his pocket when he starts in a new leadership position. And from then on, he either builds up the change in his pocket or he pays it out. And if he makes one bad decision after another, he keeps paying out change until one day, after making one last bad decision, he's going to reach into his pocket and realize that he's out of change. And, you know, it doesn't even matter at that point if the blunder was big or small, because when you're out of change, you're out as the leader. Now, the converse of that, of course, is a leader who keeps making good decisions and keeps recording wins, keeps putting change into his pocket or his bank account, and that builds up over time so that even if he makes a fairly significant blunder, if he has enough change in his pocket, he can ride through that and return to leadership. Now, one thing is a given for all of us as leaders, and that is that you must know that we will all make mistakes in our leadership decisions. So how can we maximize the amount of change we have in our pockets? Well, we need to learn to build trust. Now, how do you build trust? To build trust, a leader must exemplify these qualities: competence, connection, and character. And of those three, character is clearly the most important component of good leadership. And people will forgive occasional mistakes based on ability, especially if they can see that you're still growing as a leader and still committed to being the leader. But they won't trust someone who has slips in character or who exposes bad character. In that area, even occasional lapses can be lethal to you, and all effective leaders know this truth. I mean, we only have to look at current history to see the slide from grace that, unfortunately, Tiger Woods visited upon himself with his shift in character. Now, you know, to build trust, as I said, you must exemplify competence, connection, and character. This is true on a personal leadership level, a business leadership level, and it's even apparent at national leadership levels. So it really doesn't matter. It's not dependent on what level of leadership you are entrusted with. It is equally true at all levels of leadership. Character makes trust possible, and trust makes leadership possible, and that is the law of solid ground. Now, character is defined in Webster's dictionary as traits that form the nature of a person: moral, ethical, honesty, courage, integrity. It is also equated with your reputation. And leaders without inner strength can't be counted on day after day because their ability to perform changes constantly. You can't get too much done in life if you only work well on the days when you feel good. And if your people don't know what to expect from you as a leader, at some point they stop looking to you for leadership. And that lack of consistency has compromised your ability to lead your people. Now, one of the factors about leadership and about character is having good consistency. And consistency fosters trust. And, you know, good character will communicate consistency, and it will embody consistency in your behavior. Character also communicates potential. And Casper, I think is there another slide? Yep, there we go. Consistency. Okay, I gave that the definition of character. All right. All right. Consistency, and now we're up to potential. Good, we're caught up then. No man can climb out beyond the limitations of his own intrinsic character. And you don't build trust by talking about it. You build trust by achieving results, always with integrity and in a manner that shows real personal regard for the people with whom you work. When a leader's character is strong, people trust him, and they trust in his ability to release their potential. And this is critically important to us when we're building a networking company or when you're leading a group of volunteer army. Because every person in your group is like a seed. They're a dormant shell of pure potential waiting to be transformed into a flower. And they may not have discovered all of their potential, but they have it safely tucked within them because all of us have a tremendous potential just waiting to be called forth. And that perfect potential is our greatest gift, and it's our greatest responsibility as leaders, because not only in effective leadership can we continue to release and optimize our own potential, but in the process, we give our followers hope for the future, strong belief in themselves and in their organizations, and in their ability to believe in their potential and to achieve that potential. And when you do these things consistently, folks, your character will communicate and command respect. When you don't have that strength within, you can't earn respect without. And respect is absolutely essential for lasting leadership. We've all seen, and we perhaps have all experienced, bosses in the past who felt that they were owed respect based on their title. Remember, we talked last week about the positional leaders in a group. And the reality is that a person may be conferred respect when they are newly appointed to a position. But it is equally true that unless that person manifests the characteristics that engender trust, that respect will never be converted into true intrinsic respect for that person and their leadership position. So how do leaders earn respect? Well, you learn it by making sound decisions, by thinking carefully about the decisions and the directions that you recommend, by having that vision, as we've talked before, and having the ability to chart the right course, to activate that law of navigation. It's also done by having the humility to admit your mistakes if and when you make them. And finally, the greatest way that you earn respect is by consistently exemplifying a desire to put what's best for your group and organizations ahead of your own personal agendas. And your group will ferret out very rapidly if you flip those agendas. You may obscure it for a short time, but you will not obscure it over the long haul. And good character in that regard absolutely generates true and lasting respect. Now, it's been said, the only thing that walks back from the grave with the mourners and refuses to be buried is the character of the person. And this is true. What a person is survives them. It can never be buried with them. And folks, I know it goes without saying that the more people respect you, the more likely they will be to follow you and to remain followers of you. In fact, respect is so important a factor that it is its own law. So that, folks, is the law of solid ground. And whenever a leader breaks the law of solid ground, he pays a price in his leadership. No leader can break trust with his people and expect to keep influencing them. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Violate the law of solid ground, and you're through as a leader. And like I said, it happens on personal levels, organizational levels, and national levels. Now, in summary, I want to say that I think we've laid a fairly solid argument for the truth that trust is the foundation of leadership. Every leader needs to take only 2 basic action sets to be and remain a leader. The first of those is to do and be what it takes to foster and increase trust among your circle of influence. And the second of those is to do and be whatever it takes to avoid loss of trust. I appreciate your attention tonight. Next week, we're going to cover the 7th law, and it is the law of respect. Thank you, and Casper, back to you.